doing another sit down video, and I have to show you, I am so glad that I got this tripod for my phone for Christmas. It was like, I think it was like less than $20, but it is so perfect. Like, I love shooting on my iPhone now. It is so much easier, and like I understand now why people are like, oh, you don't even need a camera, you can just shoot on your iPhone. I'm like, oh my gosh, like my phone would overheat or that would take up so much storage. But like once I film, I immediately export it, I airdrop it over to my computer, and then I put it on my external hard drive, and then I put it into like the editing software and whatever. But it's so easy, and honestly the quality is so much better, especially because now right now the sun is coming in, but my house is so dark that shooting on my camera, well, that is fantastic. Like, I'm glad I have a vlogging camera. I think that's better for like outdoors and just out and about, and when I have like a brighter space or something, you know, then it'll be good. But right now the iPhone just is working better in the darker environments, and it seems like the audio is pretty good, at least while I'm indoors. Like probably if I'm out and like it's windy or there's other external noises and stuff, it might not be as good. But I do have my camera or my microphone that I think I can plug in there. But okay, so I will stop rambling. I'm gonna talk about how everything's going since I got laid off. Now, I believe I made a video about it. I think that might have been my first video, because I started vlogging, I believe, right after that happened. So right after I moved into my house, and it was like a few weeks in, and I got laid off from like my big 6-figure venture capital firm job. That was a contract that then I, you know, negotiated my way into making it salaried. And that was like the most horrifying thing to ever happen, especially after you just purchased a home that you definitely wouldn't have been able to afford had you not had that job. So I've been completely 100% self-sustaining and self-employed now since August of 2022. Before then, you know, before I moved down to Florida, I lived with my mom, and you know, I didn't have rent, I didn't have utilities, anything like that. I didn't have a mortgage. And then when I moved down here, I moved to Florida once I got a full-time salaried position. So I had like a stable income that I could like guarantee every month. Along those lines, you know, I had always worked in contracts, and I had done stuff for like different software companies, little like freelance things and like stuff like that. So I always had something besides my full-time job now, which is a food blogger. You know, I always kind of used that as like my safety cushion. Like that was like the fun money, that was retirement savings. Like that's how I was able to build up such a large saving stockpile. And then the other money that I got from like the external jobs, and especially once I got like the salaried stuff, like that was like the main source. So I felt comfortable enough to come down here by myself because I had that like guaranteed income. Now, obviously, like companies only care about themselves. They don't care about you. The other job though, like I honestly don't even know if I was like fired or if I resigned. I have no idea. But let's just say the first salary job that I had when I had 3 full-time jobs, my own blog, the one company, and the venture capital firm, like that was a whole mess. I should have left that earlier. But you know, while I was able to maintain all 3 things, like why not do that? And I was let go from that in June of 2022. So then 2 months later was when I got laid off from the other job. I kind of regret taking the things like full time. Like maybe had I kept it being as a contractor, we could have like worked out a different kind of thing. I don't know. But regardless, I was given severance, 2 months severance. I pushed for 3 months and they wouldn't budge. So I got 2 months severance of that. And when that first happened, I was like, oh my God, I remember like going in and like editing my resume like the day it happened, right? Because I was literally panicking. And then I was kind of like, you know what, let me just take a break. This is the first time in my life that I can solely focus on myself. I can possibly heal the burnout that I've been burned out for years. I was just so tired, so stressed all the time, especially after the whole buying the house process and then trying to manage all those jobs. Like my first year down in Florida was crazy because I feel like I didn't leave the house a lot because I always had to be on meetings or whatever. I would try to like leave in between those and like stuff like that, but I really only had the weekends to like explore my new home. So I was gonna take some time off, and which was absolutely fine. You know, I definitely had 2 months because I had the 2 months of severance. Now, I didn't have health insurance, and I still don't. So that was like the one thing that's like a little scary, but I think for the majority of healthy, like younger people, like health insurance is a scam. I'm just gonna say it. And you can look into it. A lot of people say it. A lot of people who work in healthcare say it too. Because for the most part, you won't need it. And usually things like you could find low cost out of pocket things if you need something. There are urgent cares. Like if God forbid you need an antibiotic, you know, if something bad happens. But besides that, after those 2 months, then I like my severance, like I kept in my mind like, okay, it's like I'm working. I tried to just be like, I'll focus on my blog. I'm gonna try new things, and that's when I also was like, let me start like amping up freelancing again, like really take freelancing seriously, because I never did. I always kind of, you know, I did like the longer contracts where it would be more like applying for something, but it was like a contract basis. So it wasn't necessarily like me drawing people in, you know, me like reaching out, like that kind of thing. So I made like a quick little free Canva site portfolio kind of thing for marketing. And then that Christmas is when I got my yoga teacher certification. So I went through training for that. It was all online, which was great. I got my NASA and personal training certification, and then multiple other like nutrition and other things from NASA. So I could, you know, go into the fitness route, which is cool because I mean that has been my life since I was like 3 years old. So I could, you know, maybe pick up 1 or 2 yoga classes and teach, or, you know, the freelancing in terms of marketing could be anything because I am a generalist. I can do anything because I've dabbled in it all, and I do it all for myself in my own food blog. And that's where it's like, okay, I could have doubled down and literally worked 9 to 5, revamping my blog, going back and updating all the old stuff that I need to do, I know, to like, you know, increase traffic, improve SEO, all the technical stuff. But I still feel like I'm doing the bare minimum on my blog, and I don't know why. It's very hard. I always say this, it's very hard to make changes on your own stuff. Like I feel so much more comfortable working on someone else's business, right? Because I'm like, you know, if something happens, like maybe that's why like I don't feel as like attached to it. But like for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, if I do something and then I make it worse, or you know what I mean, like I ruin something more. But I feel like at this point, I don't think I would make anything worse. There's so many algorithm changes on Google though. It's like, I feel like I wasn't impacted by a lot of the big changes that happen. A lot of bloggers now are on their sites, and especially with AI, they're seeing a lot of like negative impacts on the traffic. And I don't feel like I was really hit the previous year. Now the other thing is with AI, especially because my strongest skills in marketing are like copywriting and, you know, the strategy, coming up with ideas, that is literally being taken over by AI. So small businesses that don't have the budget, and that's another problem, like the people who I would work with, especially like if I want to do local stuff, they don't have any money. Like I remember I almost tried onboarding this woman. She had like some sort of like holistic medical practice, like up a few times over. And when I told her pricing, then she was just like, oh, never mind. Like that's it. I'm like, well, what's your budget? And let me see like what I can do for that. And she wouldn't even tell me. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people still don't take like social media or marketing, that kind of stuff, seriously. They think it's like a high schooler's job, someone just out of college, an internship kind of thing where they don't want to pay you. So it's very hard establishing yourself in the industry. So even though I've like been doing this for 10 plus years now, I still like, when you're totally on your own going out there, it's very hard, and it's so competitive because everyone thinks they can do it. So there's so many different people you can go to. There's so many options for anyone to, you know, go after, and anyone thinks they can do it, like managing an Instagram account. But it's like, there's so much more that goes into it. And it's not even like I like social media, so I don't necessarily want to be doing that. And that's where like my other skills come in. Like I could do food photography. I can, you know, do email marketing, all of that kind of stuff, but I can even build websites. So it's like, I don't know, and I still feel like I'm torn on what exactly I want to like focus on. So I know like niching down and, focusing on one thing and going after that. But anyway, besides all that, and I'm still I don't think I'll ever feel certain on like what I want to do career-wise, and I still feel like not embarrassed, but like weird saying like, oh, I'm a food blogger, because people don't understand it. And still to this day, because when you say food blogger, they think you're doing like restaurant reviews, or they think you just have like some food Instagram. And it's like, no, like I literally kill myself over writing like these lengthy SEO, audience driven like blog posts after I've developed recipes. Literally the amount of butter and flour I've gone through over the past like few months trying to perfect like a stupid brownie recipe, like people don't understand, especially food blogging. It's not just, writing a review of something. I am literally, I have to go grocery shopping, look at the ingredients, I have to test out recipes, and especially my niche, gluten-free, vegan, allergy-free, there's no eggs, dairy, nuts, wheat, anything. Like it's hard, and it's like mentally taxing. And then I have to photograph them. And then that's the problem where my house is dark and I have to do a whole lot of I have to shoot in my bedroom, which is like definitely what I don't want to be doing. I still can't get close enough to the one window I have in there. I have south facing windows too, which is just another thing. And I don't really even know how to use my camera manual still. So I'm like, I feel like a little kid. And I have a super old camera and I'm waiting for a new one so I can finally upgrade myself. But there's so many other things like that people don't understand. And then the editing the photos, and then finding the right keyword and writing these posts that are competitive with everyone else in the industry, which is now hyper competitive. Ever since COVID, a lot of people turned to like that content creation stuff. So anyone who did have just an Instagram, they did end up making a website, because they realized you don't own your audience when you only have a social media account. Social media is like the frosting on your foundation. Like it's the marketing. It's just another way to reach your people where they are. But your home base and something that you own is your website and your email list. You own those things. They can't be taken away from you. They can't be like randomly outages like the other day, Facebook, Instagram, all of the meta apps like went down for hours. And so if you solely, that was your only business, like you're kind of screwed. So there's that. I'm lucky that with my blog and that it's been around now for almost 11 years. I passively make money from the ads on my website, but that is literally the only thing I have. I have some affiliate revenue, of course, through like Amazon and like reward style, shop style, that kind of thing. But it's just a couple extra $100 or so like a month. But I don't do sponsored posts because my social accounts are small. So like if you want to do sponsored work and make like, the big bucks that you can do still, honestly, with like TikTok and Instagram, people are making like $10,000 with like one thing. My numbers are still small because I never focused on that. I focused on the website. So while that's a little more stable and evergreen, I still struggle to get any sponsored work necessarily. I don't really like to do sponsored work, and it's hard for me to do that in the specific niche I'm in, because I have to be so like, just because your product's gluten-free doesn't mean I can use it, because it has to also be allergy-free. So there's a lot of stuff like that. I did go back and start updating posts and stuff over the past year or two. It's slow. It's a slow process because it takes me very long to like write these things out, and maybe because I'm like being too thoughtful, too scared, I still feel like I don't know for sure how I should be targeting the keywords, and like there's so many things where I wish I had help at this point. Like I had a VA who she could maybe focus on just the social media, where she could be like upping my Pinterest game more and things like that, and just kind of let me not worry about that at all. I just usually let things go like that. Things that aren't urgent, I'm not gonna do. And I do feel like it's easier to just kind of like make new content besides going back to like old content. But I don't know, I'm trying, and then with my own like health issues and like my mental health, like it is hard to do the amount of work that needs to be done every day. Like I feel good when I can accomplish like one or two things every day. And then I'm tired, and my mind is tired. I'm emotionally drained and I can't do anymore. And that's where it's hard. I did, though, allow myself to take time off, and where I literally just went to the beach like twice a week. I would just kind of go out and explore and really feel like I'm living here now, and I feel so much more comfortable here. Like, this feels like home to me. I've been all over the place now. I love going out on like hikes on all these nature paths that are down here in Florida. I love going to the beach and just laying there getting my tan. I like just kind of like driving around, exploring new areas. Of course, right now it's like spring break time, so Florida roads are insane. But I like just experiencing this little South Florida area, and I'm glad I took time off to kind of like heal and not go crazy. But now that it's been over a year, so August of 2022, it's been like a year and a half, a little bit more than a year and a half. And now I feel scared because I'm like, I need to either ramp things up, or like I have savings, so I felt like okay by like not jumping into another role. But the scary thing is right now the job market is wild. I have never experienced it. I have always been applying to jobs my entire life, like just anything that might be interesting, and that I know I can do so many things. It's hard for me to write a resume when my skills are so weird, generalist, and I'm a food blogger, but there's so much that goes into that. And while back in the day, before COVID and before now, the crazy job market, it was impressive, and I was able to talk my way into things and explain to people what I was capable of doing, which allowed me to get the things that I'd done in the past. Now that there's been so many layoffs, there's been layoffs in huge tech companies where it's like when you have like Meta or Google on your resume, people are going to swoop you up. That's impressive and that's great, and they know that you were able to fit in with that culture. For me, it's like I feel like a little kid too. It's like I'm almost 28 now, and it's like I never had like a real job. I never had a 9 to 5. It's weird and it's hard, and I feel like I lack the skills to ever get something that would be full-time. I feel like the longer that you're out of the job market, this is kind of like mothers who, they have kids and they stay home and they can't really get back into the job market after their kids have grown up. It's like, for me too, it's like, yeah, like now that I've been out of it, people question me. Like, if I do ever get an interview, it's like, well, what are you looking for? Like, why are you applying to something full-time? And I'm like, well, I need more money. Like, I want to feel a little more secure. Like, I don't know. And while, yes, I made it this far, it's like, should I, I'm also killing myself now with the YouTube channel. It's like that I have to make sure I'm always posting at least one video a week. And I have kept up with that every Sunday at 12. And I just feel like now I'm pulling myself in so many different directions. And it's like, this isn't profitable yet. My YouTube channel is not monetized yet. So I know that there's potential for it, and I can't devote more time to it until it is monetized. But it's like, you kind of have to devote more time to it to get it monetized, because I haven't had anything go viral. Like, I have enough subscribers to monetize. I don't have the watch hours yet. So that's like a catch-22 thing, and that's why, like, on my blog, I mean, yes, it's only been like a year that I've been doing YouTube, but in my blog, yeah, in the beginning, the first few years, I didn't make any money from it. And of course, I didn't need to. I was in high school. It was fun and a hobby. I always said YouTube didn't matter if I made money or not, and I don't care, and I'm going to keep doing it. But it's just like, now it's like, should I, first of all, let's talk about the job market. LinkedIn is basically where I go. I literally spend hours every day applying to things through LinkedIn. I've definitely come across new great resources, especially when I'm connected with a lot of people. So if they do post, oh, we have a job for this, content, marketing, blah, 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 all this, like, I'll go in and I'll apply. I don't care what the company is at this point. And a lot of this stuff, though, is now on site, in a whole other state, not moving ever. Or it's hybrid, and it's like hybrid 4 days a week in office. It's like, that's not hybrid. Or sometimes companies will put remote, and it's actually not remote. It's like remote in New York, but it's like, you can't put remote then, because if you require me to be in New York, it's not remote. And you require me to come into office like every 2 weeks, like, that's not remote. And a lot of these job postings on LinkedIn are like scams. They're not real. You could see there's a lot of weird ones that are like a writer or blogger. Like literally, it is legitimately a scam because you go to the company page and there's no followers, there's no employees. So I'm reporting these to LinkedIn, but I don't really know if that helps. Some of them are literally like weird data entry, like third world country stuff. Like you'll apply to it, you thinking it's normal maybe, but it's totally not. And then you get all these spam emails. Believe me, I get spam calls all the time now because my phone number is out there. So a lot of it's like fake. Apparently, employers are like, people, I forget what they call it, but it's like they post these jobs and they act like they're hiring, but they're not. They're just kind of keeping their pipeline open. And especially now with the AI though, that has happened. Like I had applied to something at the Arena Group. Now the Arena Group owns Sports Illustrated. And if you are following the news, Sports Illustrated is like a mess now. They're gonna collapse. They were using AI to like generate articles. And the Arena Group was looking for content creators, like in-house content creators to create social content for their media brands. And it was like a senior content creator role. It seemed perfect. I could like film myself cooking for the show. Like it was such an ideal role that would be able to fit into everything else that I do. And everyone loved me, everyone that I interviewed with, and I went on 5 interviews, like hours-long interviews, 5. Devoted so much time to this, and then I was ghosted. Never heard a peep again. And now I'm assuming it's because, who knows, maybe the recruiter that I had originally talked to was kind of like leading this on. Maybe she got fired, you know what I mean? Like in one of these layoffs that they had. I know their CEO was like left, and it was like a whole thing. Like, so I get that, or maybe I shouldn't feel bad about it, but it's like, you wasted so much of my time. And that's why I'm very hesitant to do anything. There was another thing where a local, literally like 2 minutes from my house, a new like sports recovery type of place was opening up. And they had a job for a fitness instructor, a yoga instructor, and a marketing manager. I'm like, holy crap, I could do any of these. So I sent in my application to the marketing position, and the guy, of course, anyone who like messages me on LinkedIn is an idiot. Like, please be professional and email me, because the LinkedIn inbox is for spam. So I already was kind of pissed off, but I kind of wanted to follow it up. So I was like, hey, like, I'm also really interested in the yoga position though. But of course he didn't set it up properly, where he was like, do you have this many years of this certain style? And it was like, I don't, but I don't want my application to be like flagged as like a no. So that's why I applied to the other thing. And then he's like, oh yeah, well, I just had to pick something. So I'm like, okay, sure. And so we kind of went back and forth a little bit. And then I'm like, all right, he asked me, I told him to email me. He didn't though. And then he's like, I asked for like a Calendly, like a schedule. I could pick a slot that he had open to call. And he didn't send that. He didn't email me. He sent me another LinkedIn message. He's like, are you available like Monday afternoon or Tuesday afternoon? And I'm like, all right, Monday at 5. Why don't you give me a call? So I'm literally waiting there. I like have my phone off, do not disturb. It's like 4:50. I have my phone like staring at it for like 10 minutes. And then 5 o'clock comes, no call. 5:05, no call. 5:10, no call. And so I'm like, okay, it's like 5:20 now. I sent him a LinkedIn message because I still don't have his email. And I'm like, let me know if you're still able to hop on a call. Otherwise, like, what's going on? And then we literally made this appointment, right, at 1 o'clock that day previous. So it was like only a few hours later. And randomly, hours later at night, he sends you a LinkedIn message. He's like, oh, sorry, I was on my way down to Miami. And I'm like, what? Like, why did you say you were available at 5 and you were gonna call me? You literally wasted my entire night. Well, I was like standing by my phone with bated breath. Like, so there's people like that where it's like, that's a red flag, because that means that the entire, are you a scam? Like, I don't understand. And this is what happens. And this is where I don't even want to do these interviews. Like, even if I do get an interview, I don't even want to do it, because I know that you're gonna just like ghost me, or just gonna act like that. So unprofessional. The salaries too, especially for like the marketing industry, they're like $15 an hour, like $18 an hour. What? And I say I have 10 years of experience, because I do, because I've been in this space for that long. And it's like, they don't, like, there was a senior level role in New York, senior level, like content marketer, social media director, something, and they wanted to give you $70,000. What? Oh my God. Like, I see jobs and it's like $45,000. I've never made that little. Like, the first salaried role I got was 70,000. And it's like, oh my God, like maybe if you're like desperate, like and then it's tax, like I don't understand. So I'm kind of like still applying to things, but like I'm passively applying at this point. I don't even care. It's just fun to see the automated rejections that come through, because half these application tracking systems automatically just like X out your resume. It's like, am I looking for something freelance? Am I looking for something full-time, part-time? I don't know. And that's why I'm just kind of throwing my resume out there that is so generalist, just anywhere I can. You know, like the easy apply, the ones without a cover letter, like sometimes I feel like that's really cool and I do put in more effort. But otherwise, it's just kind of like, if it happens, it happens, but I don't want to rely on someone else anymore. And obviously there's something saying, like, Rebecca, like you have never worked at something that's like real corporate 9 to 5 kind of thing. They don't last ever. I've never worked at a company for more than a year, you know. One of the contracts I had was longer than a year, I think. But it's like, I don't think I was made for that. I was made to be doing my own thing. So I kind of need to either, again, figure out how I can double down and really focus on things. But it's also like, I don't want to ever be on someone else's schedule. You know me and schedules, and like I want to be able to do my own thing. I don't want the stress of like waiting for something, knowing I have to do something. That was what the Zoom meetings like killed me when I was working. I was so stressed daily. Like my stomach, my head, I was literally a mess when I knew I had like Zoom meetings all day long, and they could pop up anywhere, especially with the one company I was at. So like, I don't want that. I don't even want that for myself. Like me scheduling someone to like talk to me for like a freelance thing. So I'm like, I have to make my website just keep working. That's it. That's literally the #1 goal. Maybe this, you know, hopefully I can stream this weekend and you guys will see that, although this video will come after that, but whatever. So basically, it is horrifying. It's very scary to be fully self-employed like this, when you're still like just very like, it's not like stable, you know, it's not like it's established, but like not really. Especially when it's like a variable income and I'm not making the same every month. And in the beginning of the year, so like January, February, March, like Q1, ad dollars are very low, right? So it's scary, and thank God I have savings now, and I pay myself through, so like the money that I make goes into my business account, and then I pay myself a certain amount to cover my bills. So like my mortgage, I do want to do a separate finance video. Like I know a lot of content creators kind of like do like a monthly finance every month. So I may do that because like my mortgage now this year is like basically almost $2,500, right? That's including the HOAs. And then, you know, I have my electric, I have my water, which also is like facility charges and sewage and like all this crazy stuff. And then it's just general maintenance. I have my phone bill. I have my internet's only $10, so that's okay. I have my car insurance, and living in South Florida, it's crazy high. Groceries, and I don't have extra money right now, and that's what's scary. Like I was scared to spend money when I had literally like multiple 6 figures coming in. I was scared. I didn't think I was gonna be able to afford my house. Like, wow, had I known that my income would be drastically cut, it's just wild. So it's really scary, and you really have to plan ahead. Like, I get it if people didn't have the savings, and if they didn't, I mean, I understand why I don't know why people are moving down here. A lot of people are moving down to like Miami and stuff, and they're looking for roommates. It's like 30-year-olds looking for like multiple roommates just to be here. It's like, don't move down here if you can't afford it. Don't. Like, people are looking for like, I can pay like $1,000. I need like 5 roommates. Like, no, don't do that. Don't put yourself in that position. So what is the point of this video? I have no idea, but that's where my mind is. I am really scared most days. I'm trying to make it work, and I'm trying to like get past like my depression and like my mental health stuff to allow me to like keep making gains in my business. And I still feel like there's more for me though, and that's why I'm like, do I want to get another contract? Do I want to work? I would love to work in another company. You know what I mean? Like something stable, like show them my skills in another way. But I don't know if that's really in the cards at this point, especially right now, the economy and the job market. It's nothing like I've ever seen in my life. I used to be able to get any interview I wanted, and now it's like, no. So it's so hyper competitive. I don't know, and I don't, people do see that I have something else, and they realize, oh, she's an entrepreneur. She found that she's going to be her own way. She's not going to listen to authority, and like I'm not. You know what I mean? So I think right now, somehow we're making it work. Could I sell my house and start renting? Sure. I would save possibly, like $700 a month, $800 a month, maybe. But right now I'm also like, I like having the asset, and I don't want to go renting again either. Cause like, you use your first home as like your starting point to buy your next home. So it's like, I feel like if I lose this, it'd be hard to buy again, so, and I have to be careful because I have no one down here to help me. I am completely by myself. I moved here completely alone. There's no mommy, daddy money. Like everything I've done has been just me. And so it's very, very scary because I do not have someone to fall back on. So that's where I am. There has been just so much thinking over the past few months. And that's why it's just kind of hard to vlog, because I feel like my days are like not necessarily interesting. And then like when I'm out doing something fun, I don't want to be necessarily vlogging it. And I still feel uncomfortable like vlogging out in public. But hopefully 2024 we can do a little bit more of that. I think I said that in like one of my previous videos. But right now, that's where I am. I'm a full-time food blogger, Strength and Sunshine. Please visit my website. Come back all the time. Look at the ads, scroll, do slow scrolling, and that'll help me out. I am working on a course, so I keep saying that. I want to make it like worth what I'm pricing it at. So that could be like my first digital product kind of thing. But yeah, maybe I should like really take seriously like my nutrition coaching and the fitness and the yoga. Like I could do that, but it's also like time is money, and what I'm worth per hour, it's like you have to take that into consideration too. So yeah, let me know where you guys are at. Like if you're in your late 20s, what are you doing? What do you do for work? How are you doing financially? Are you still living with parents? Do you have roommates? Are you living alone? Are you married? Let me know. Let me know what you think of the job market at this point. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments, and I can make like a more structured video answering direct questions that you have. But yeah, I will see you guys back here next week. I don't know what video it'll be. I think my mom will have come, so maybe we'll do like I will try to vlog when she's here. We may go to Miami. I don't know. It's spring break, so things are gonna be crazy. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next week.